Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, May 12. On this date in 1971, Lyle Douglas Basham was born. The former two-time WWE Tag Team Champion known as Doug Basham turns 41 today. On this date in 1997, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Baltimore, Maryland. In the main event, Hugh Morris and Conan defeated Ice Train and Alex Wright. On this date in 2003, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the main event, Kevin Nash fought Chris Jericho to a no contest. And on this date in 2008, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Detroit, Michigan. In the main event, Randy Orton pinned John Cena. This has been Today in Wrestling History, May 12.
You are listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Dairy.
Thank you, Eric Bischoff. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. In honor of Mother's Day, let me throw out some of the other moms that might trigger your memory a little bit, and I know some of these are rather obscure. Of course, Shelton Benjamin's mama from a few years ago, Mama Benjamin, with the wheelchair that she had there. Tanning mom. Oh, okay. Was she? Wait, what does she do in wrestling? I'm just. Oh, okay. He's just talking newsworthy. Okay, the tan. Oh, yeah, that's right. Taking her infant to the tanning booth. That's right. I did read about that story. No, I would hope they don't get into wrestling. My goodness. Of course, from this past WrestleMania, Mama Clay with or without the Bridge Club. Of course, from this past WrestleMania, Brodus Clay, the whole deal there. Here's the slightly obscure one. Raven's mother, who was looking to help Scotty when he had lost his way. That was a WCW angle that was very short-lived. And, of course, you got to go to WCW for this one. Judy Bagwell, of course, mother of the ailing at the moment Marcus Buff Bagwell. And infamous, of course, for that Judy Bagwell on a pole match. Just look it up. Trust me. You know what? I'll actually put it on the Facebook fan page as soon as we're done here. Yeah, the Judy Bagwell on a pole match in honor of Mother's Day. Some other news and notes, real quick. As I mentioned before the break, John Cena filing for a divorce from his wife, Liz Huberdeau. The Miami Herald reporting that Cena's wife has hired powerful Miami attorney Raymond Rafool. Or is that Rayfool? I don't know. Raymond Rayfool we'll go with, who represented Linda Balea in her divorce from Hulk Hogan. Quote, although it is indeed unfortunate that John Cena decided to divorce his high school sweetheart Liz Cena, particularly after they have come so far in their lives and in his career together, Liz will and really has no choice but to pursue all of her rights and entitlements. That, of course, was from the lawyer, as if you couldn't tell from the noted lawyer speak that was pretty much that entire dreck that I just read. He goes on to say, although Mr. Cena pushes a prenuptial agreement and that the parties have only been married for approximately 3 years, Liz Cena has always supported John Cena even when no one else did, and stood behind him and pushed him forward to achieve their goals for the last 14 years. Sadly, divorce is not the way Liz thought her perfect love story would end. Wow. Not even sure where to go with that, so I'm just going to keep on going. Probably the best thing to do. Former Miss USA and WWE Tough Enough contestant Rima Fakih dodged jail time when she was sentenced in her DUI case on Wednesday. Michigan judge gave Fakih 6 months probation, ordered her to pay 20 hours of community service, and ordered her to pay $600 in fines and court costs. She is also required to attend an alcohol safety class. Police had found an open bottle of champagne in her car when they pulled her over for driving 60 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. She was also weaving in and out of traffic. Her 2 breathalyzer tests registered at .20 and .19, putting her over triple the legal limit. She pleaded no contest to the charges last month. And one more here. CM Punk dropping some interesting tweet bombs in response to a homophobic fan. Punk's quote on Twitter, making same-sex marriage illegal is the same as having segregated drinking fountains. Embarrassing. The human race is embarrassing. When a homophobic follower told him, quote, that homos make me sick, Punk responded by writing, quote, kill yourself. Good job, Punk. After Raw, Punk apologized for the kill yourself line. He said, I was pretty worked up today. The Amendment 1 situation had me all wound up. I stand by my thoughts on gay marriage 100%. How I defended that stance was 100% wrong. I admit it. You can't stoop to others' levels. Sometimes I fight fire with fire, and it isn't always the best way. He apologized to the homophobic follower and then wrote, I don't want you to kill yourself. I want you to better yourself, just as I want to better myself. I'll start by being the better man and once again apologize for my harsh reaction to your opinion of homosexuals making you, quote, sick. He goes on to say, sorry, y'all. If I let anybody down, I apologize. I'll make it up to you and move forward with a better understanding of others' feelings. Interesting from CM Punk. Real quick, Sacrifice tomorrow. We've got 7 matches, at least, announced for the lineup. Devon defending the television championship against Robbie E. and Robbie T in a handicap match. I think Devon's going to beat the odds there. Gail Kim, I think she's going to retain against Brooke Tessmacher for the Knockouts title. Austin Aries against Bully Ray in a non-title match. I think Aries is going to win that one. Going to beat up the Bully. Samoa Joe and Magnus against Daniels and Kazarian for the tag titles. I think Joe and Magnus retain. I don't see a lot of title changes here, can you tell? Jeff Hardy against Mr. Anderson. I think Anderson gets that one. Kurt Angle against AJ Styles. I've got Angle winning that one. Both of those are really coin flips. And Bobby Roode against Rob Van Dam in a ladder match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, that happening this past Thursday on Impact, thanks to a match where if Rob Van Dam won, he could choose the stipulation. He chose a ladder match. I think in spite of that, Roode is going to retain. So there you have it. There is your TNA Sacrifice predictions certain to go wrong. I haven't done so badly, actually, so we'll see if that continues. Anyway, we got a few minutes here left. Let's get to Steve, who's been hanging on for a little bit. Steve, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
How's it going, Braun?
What's going on?
Who's Brock Lesnar going to be at WrestleMania? I mean, is it going to be Triple H, or is Triple H going to say, I want to bring my best friend back, Batista?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know. I thought Triple H's new best friend was Sheamus, but I don't know if there's much of a draw in a Sheamus-Brock Lesnar match. They are workout buddies, after all.
Yes, they are. I just don't
know. I think in this case it's too soon to tell, really. I don't think they know what's going to happen next month, let alone, they know the date, they know the venue, but that's about all they know. And they know The Rock's going to be involved in some capacity. I hope they don't go Lesnar against The Rock, but stranger things have happened.
I'm just looking at draw matches. You just got to figure out which draw he wants. You're going back to when it was WWE. Remember when he finally bought the company? Vince McMahon threw what I call a match slap. The match that slapped me in the face on a Raw. He had a three-guy wrestling match: The Rock, Taz, and Kurt Angle. All had been champions 3 months prior. And it was on Raw, and JR and the King don't even say, hey, these are 3 former champions from 3 different companies. They just wrestled, and they let Kurt Angle win. That's how little he thought of the competition, Vince. He just threw up 3 guys. They won't know what's going on. They won't know that I'm sending them a message.
Yeah, I mean, Taz had a rather noted push initially when he came in back in 2000. I think it was the Royal Rumble where he was a mystery opponent against Kurt Angle, and the crowd, obviously, it was Madison Square Garden, so that certainly didn't hurt. But the New York crowd, obviously, a fan of their native son, Taz, so that certainly didn't hurt matters. But I think injuries also played a part in that as well, as, not too long after he came in, Taz made his way to the commentator's booth where he's been for probably close to the last decade now.
He got lucky, I think, doing that. I
think
that prolongs his career. People will think he's actually better than he was.
Yeah, because you get more, kind of like, I guess to a different degree, kind of like Richie Ashburn, really. I mean, Ashburn had a great playing career, and then it was kind of immortalized even more by a lengthy broadcast career.
Well, if you really want to go back to it, it's really all they're doing is a different version of Jerry the King Lawler. Because Lawler, when he got that booth, when they finally gave him his shot to be a commentator, what's the first thing he tells JR? He says, you're sitting by the man that beat Savage, Hogan, all these guys in Memphis, Tennessee coming up, and they still can't beat me.
And that's probably why Lawler can still wrestle on occasion today, even at the ripe old age of 62.
Well, it's something they can never take away from him, because he beat them when they were both young. And
True.
He was and when you think about it, he always said, I either read it in his book or I read it on a website, that he says when they were coming up, he says, I could tell one thing about them: they were great on the mic and lousy on the mat. And that's when they were coming up.
Yeah. Savage definitely turned it around. Hogan, not so much. Thanks so much for the call, Steve. I got to run. Appreciate it. Great call as always. That's going to do it for me. Enjoy your Mother's Day out there. And I'll be back next week to go over Sacrifice and also preview Over the Limit here on Pro Wrestling Weekly. Bill Melody is up next here on BCB. Stay tuned. He's got the Country Music Hall. He'll take you till... You got the full show? He'll take you to 6 o'clock. Okay. I saw a bunch of sports up there. Okay, but that's on our sister station. That's later this afternoon. So he's got the full 5 hours. Oh, and on the internet. Okay, too. Yes, Bill Melody, Country Music Hall coming up. And I'll be back next week with more Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB.